specific, that's it, right? All right, I'm not. Semantics, either way. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Steve, you're up.
Okay, Finance, Property, and Supply Committee reports. If anybody has any questions on items A through L, please request a letter to be pulled and voted on separately. If not, start the recommendations.
Yes. Oh, we have to do it with the Senate first. Okay.
No, you have questions? This is
Yeah, I would like C and D pulled.
Okay, anything else?
Yeah, I would like A, B, E, G, H, A, B,
Just do one.
E.
In other words, you just want them all pulled.
No,
That was the, like, last meeting.
I'm sorry, you got the.
A, B, and then I got the, and then I want to move E, G, H, and L1.
We're not going to go. Maybe stop your thing. All right, anything else? I have a motion on the floor to approve. Oh. Yeah, this we just
Need a motion.
No, measure.
Okay, so, I'm sorry, I didn't get all the stuff written down, I was trying to catch it up, so we have, is F pulled?
No.
No.
Is G pulled?
Yes.
Okay. Is H pulled?
Yes.
Is I pulled?
No.
No.
J?
No.
K?
No.
Floor's over here.
All right. In the form of a motion, I would like F, excuse me, I, and J, and K.
I have a motion on the floor to approve F, I, J, and K. Do I have a second?
Second, Mayor Brennan.
All right, any discussion on those?
Yes. K. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
For anonymous entities, okay.
On F, this is just going to be request for proposal, right?
Yeah, this is just the permission to advertise.
Right, okay.
Any other questions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion is carried.
Okay. All right, let's start at the top. In the form of a motion, recommend approval of the proposed change order 78,
And
Carter Room flooring.
I have a motion on the floor to approve the approach change order for the cardio room flooring. Do I have a second?
Second, Mayor Brennan.
Discussion.
I pulled it.
Yes.
I don't have discussion, I want to just vote it on separately, that's all.
Okay.
Well, since it was added, since the work session.
Sure.
want to
Sure, I can answer.
explain?
Yeah, absolutely. So, one of the things when you when you go through the bid process and we do everything that we need to do for ordering supplies, designing structures, and so forth, all of this was done way back before bids went out. So, what was wished for the cardio floor was a rolled floor. The rolled floor was not available when it was purchased, so a substitute was made. The substitute came in, the flooring is non-porous, or is porous. So what winds up happening is the sweat, the icky stuff, all the dirt and germs and everything get into the floor. We saw that after it was ordered by the contractor. We received it, we had to make a change. There is a restocking fee that you'll see on this that goes back with the flooring, but we do now have a floor that needs to be approved so that we can lay a 2x2 tile that's non-porous and will allow us to have the cardio room available to our students by the beginning of next year. Because there was a mistake that was there, the contractor, the architect understands it. They are providing us with a $16,000 credit that we are going to see moving forward. The problem is we just simply can't put that $16,000 credit on the change order itself to make it available for me to approve up to that $25,000. So in all reality, this is a $16,000 change order that I could approve. However, I need board approval because it states $32,000.
Can I ask why, if it was an why are we not getting a full refund? Or a full,
Yeah,
the
because
full coverage of it?
there was some shared ownership in that mistake. So we are receiving $16,000 towards that. That is something that we sat down and reviewed. I reviewed it with the architects and Victor, and while there is some shared ownership.
What, school and architect?
School and architect, correct,
Yeah.
correct.
Forest,
Yeah.
received it.
Yep, yep, and unfortunately, some of those things were done before the items were even purchased, so there's some mistakes that we can't really do anything about.
Any other discussion?
Dr. Menzel, is this, or Tom, is this 16,000 covered, I guess, probably in 1.7 contingency, right?
Yeah, all
Yeah.
change orders.
Okay, okay, thank you.
And is there any update on the, will we be able to get the weight room equipment and the?
Let's deal with this
in
first.
time?
Let's deal with this
Yeah.
first.
Well, this.
This morning, by approving this change order, allows us to get the weight room equipment that we have on hold.
All right, any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay. Recommend approval for AG Neuro agreement to replace existing key systems throughout the interior doors of LHS approved capital project.
Have a motion on the floor to recommend approval of the AG Muro agreement to replace existing key system throughout the interior doors of Millstone High School. This is a approved capital project. Do I have any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Huh? Oh, who's
Who's the second?
Second, lawyer.
All right, back. Any discussion? Still hearing none.
Yeah. So, this is just something that we got late after the work session, the
Correct.
bid for it.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes they're just not available before work session.
When is the work gonna take place?
This will most likely happen this summer. Try to line those capital projects when students aren't in the building.
Any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed?
Opposed.
Can I ask why you're opposed to a key system that's integrated?
I didn't approve the capital projects to begin with. Why should I approve this?
Okay. No, I'm just trying to figure this one out. Okay. All right.
Recommend approval of the River Valley agreement to install perma-mulch around the stadium, an approved capital project.
Oh, I have a approval for recommendation of the River Valley agreement to install permanent mulch around the stadium. Do I have a second?
Second, lawyer.
Okay, discussion.
Yeah, I have a question. This is a lot of money. And is it replacing something? Is it 100% necessary?
All the rocks and the gravel and the mulch that they have that washes down, this is a permanent system, so it doesn't wash down, and the kids can't go kick it and throw it, and
So it's like a glued thing that's put together, it goes around the
Yes.
base of the stuff.
You see the big clumps that are right before, they won't be there anymore
Yeah.
after they put this down, yeah.
It's a
Okay.
fix to that
so
project.
it's a fix, so you won't need to mulch again. So technically, it might be a little bit of savings, who knows, but
And the money's already put, like,
we've
aside?
already put
That's
money
aside.
aside.
Okay, all right, that's all I need, thank you for clarifying, I
Any other
appreciate that very
questions?
much.
Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
Recommend approval of York Excavating Company for the ASIS paving bid, approved capital project.
Have a motion on the floor to recommend approval of,
Ms. D.
Oh, I'm sorry, did I miss it?
that's all right, we're on, we got E, so we'll do E, and I'll come back to D.
Thank you.
I recommend approval of York Excavating for the ACES paving bid capital projects. Do I have a second?
Second, lawyer.
Discussion. discussion.
Yep, just a question, because I know that we discussed doing some of the projects for the fields. Is this gonna have to be redone when the stadium is,
No, shouldn't.
it shouldn't?
No,
Okay.
this is
I just wanna make
specific.
sure that we're not doing this, and then like, in a year and a half, when the stadium, if that moves forward from the majority of the board, that we have to do this again, because again, this is money. We wanna be, you know, fiscally responsible.
Absolutely.
So, okay.
Like the construction people messing with.
Well, yeah, like, or if they're gonna be using that to go back and forth for possibilities of stuff, should we wait on this? If it's, is it something that's in a dire emergency that people are falling and hurting themselves right now?
I think
If
this
not,
is-
can we wait on it?
This is a project for the summer, so most of,
This was, when we discussed the capital projects, it was because that particular, lot has never been seal coated. It's
Yeah.
just been kind of patched and it was gonna get done. And we put that in discussion with athletics, so the staging area was gonna be in a different spot for the contract.
So if we do the construction in the future, we would have an agreement with them that they would have to fix whatever they.
Yeah,
Okay, so we could put that in, that if this goes forward, that because we just, if we approve this tonight, that we could put in there that if they damage it, they fix it at no cost to us. I would like to see that added, you know, if that time, when that time comes. Okay, thank you. Thank you for that.
No problem.
Question I
Nope,
have.
that they would be bringing us back as is, any damage
We'd
it would be standard already in the contract.
Okay, all right, just want to make sure. I know Victor had shared a little while ago that it did need to be done, it had never been, I totally get that. I just want to make sure that if we move forward with the stadium project, that the big trucks coming in, if they need access, aren't going to ruin it and us have to do it again.
That's a good question.
Okay, thank you.
any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Recommend approval of the construction of legal services with Saxon and Stump for the remainder of 2024-25 at the same current rates. Continuation.
We got a motion on the floor to recommend approval of continuation of legal services with Saxton and Stump for the remainder of 2024-2025 at the same current rates. Do I have a second?
Second, Mary Brennan.
Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay. Items 1 through 7 is noted.
No, you got eight.
Evaluation. Sorry, guys.
That's all right.
Didn't have my zero. Recommend approval of Saxon Stumps for the 25-26 school year with proposed increases.
I've got a motion on the floor to recommend approval of Saxon Stump for the 2025-2026 school year with the proposed increases. Do I have a second?
Second. Lord.
Discussion.
I would note that I do see that there are about $10 an hour increases again. Has Dave indicated that they project that to happen every year?
They projected, that was the stock and leader projection for this upcoming year. So as Dave shared with me, the proposals that stock and leader was going to make anyway for 25-26 are the same that Saxton and Stump are making in this proposal.
Yeah, he said in the meeting.
Yeah, I thought he said that.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like we got a sweetheart deal to start with, and pretty low rates comparative to other people, and then they continue to raise them. So hopefully, I know you're a great negotiator, Tim, and you'll negotiate with the firm to keep the rates as low as possible, so that we don't have to continue to pay, or else we might have to review our options if they continue to raise prices.
Sure, I'll have conversations.
Okay, any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
What are we doing with that?
L1 is the only one that needs to get pulled. payment of invoices 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Do I have a second?
Second, Mary Brennan.
Do I have any discussion on those? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, recommend approval of the general fund checks.
I have a motion on the floor to approve the general fund checks. Do I have a second?
Second.
Do I have any discussion?
I pulled it because stock and meter bills, soon to be sites installed, whatever. I'm not happy with how I have to read those, and on top of that, I'm not happy with how undescriptive they are. A lot of it's vague, very vague, and this board back in January, February 2024 pushed for a huge amount of transparency when it comes to solicitor bills, and I'm not seeing it. I see things that are very vague in there that should be more descriptive. That's my problem with paying it, so until I can see and have that information, I'm not going to vote to on the state levels.
Didn't you vote against transparency of legal ones last time?
Well, we didn't vote against transparency, we voted for attorney-client privilege.
Okay, at this time, we're gonna take an executive session.
You're not the client.
Okay, this time we're gonna break it for an
Well,
executive session.
You don't even know what happened.
Sure I do.
The executive session is discuss legal and personnel matters.